Everyone has a special place in their minds and their memory and their heart for nostalgia, for the way things were. Now, what's interesting is the way our brain works, from everything that cognitive neuroscience is showing us, is that we don't actually remember an event. We remember a memory of that event. It's like when you know there's an address and you don't know the address itself, but you know how to get there. And you know it by landmarks or turn this direction or whatever. And you continue to walk that path. It eventually wears down the path and the memory becomes different. So your nostalgia, your perception of those events will actually either degrade or change outright the more you think about it. Now, another thing we have is, if you've ever had any sort of time travel story or movie or whatever, people always worry about going back in time, going back to those memories, and somehow altering it to disturb the present or the future. We run the grandfather paradox all the time, right? Like, if you traveled back in time and killed your grandfather before you could have your father, would you even be born? And would that event then be able to happen? We're not going to discuss that, but I want to look at the darker side of nostalgia and the way that you can get lost in a memory that isn't even accurate to the event that you're trying to remember. All outcomes that you have, everything from then until now, from now until whenever, are the culmination of small changes. There's very few events that you can point to that radically shift your life. It's usually a cumulative case. And so, just like every marathon has to begin with one stride, you can set goals and you can move towards them at the pace that you can. So rather than dwelling on those memories of things that you could have done different, because I know I certainly get caught in nostalgia in a very negative way. And I start thinking about the way I should have done it differently. And we don't have a time machine. We can't go back and change that to alter what we have now. But we can't alter what we do now to change what will result. So if the axiom that you can go back in time and change the present holds, it definitely holds that if you make changes in the present, it will affect your future. So setting goals is a good way to do that. But the hurdle, the challenge that affects most people is even taking that first step. So start your marathon or don't. Take it at your own pace, but realize that everything you're doing today will eventually become a memory and nostalgia later. And if you have those lingering regrets of things that you did wrong in the past, or that you did a way that you would do differently, remind yourself to make those decisions based on that knowledge. Because even though the memory is tired and you've walked that path so many times to relive the one that got away, or the stupid thing you did in gym class in 6th grade, or any of those other things, that all advises what you do going forward. So really, when you think about it, as you're going to see this 5 or 10 or 20 years down the road, you're going to look back at the events of today in that own nostalgia. You have the opportunity right now to change the future that will be then by taking actions now. Thank you very much for viewing this, and thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. If you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Give me any comments or criticism that you want in the comment box below. And if you want to see more of this, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you.